The rain in Spain stays mainly in the...
Step by step through the sun and rain, over mountains, across the plains. WCBH is on the go. Join us as we walk the Camino.
Good morning, it's day 38. Today we go from Las Herrerias to Fonria, 21 kilometres, which sounds pretty average in terms of the distance, but we know that we're heading into one of the most difficult days, or what we believe is one of the most difficult days, because there is a lot of ascent, a lot of climbing up the mountains that we need to do. When I plugged walking distance and summary from Las Herrerias to Fonria into ChatGPT, it said 21 kilometres, but you'll end up climbing around about 1,000 metres across the day. I think the first stretch is about a 600 metre climb, 600 metres in altitude, not in terms of distance. And then over the rest of the day, you'll climb about another 400 metres. So we're just walking past this beautiful river over a bridge out of the valley, the dairy fields that we've stayed in last night, all very, very picturesque. Legs are feeling good, and they need to be good. It's likely to be a multiple entry podcast today as I record how we're going as we start the ascent. But we're at the foot of the mountain and we're geared up for a big day. Well, what a morning it's been. After we got out of the town that we stayed in, Las Herrerias, a little bit on the shoulder of the road, but then the path split onto a bush path, and we've been working our way up this mountain through rainforest or very wet bush, shaded path, speckled light coming through the canopy. It's been beautiful. It has been a very steep climb. We climbed for a couple of kilometres and then came across a little rural village. Cows, being moved from paddock to paddock through the streets, etc., where we stopped and had breakfast, which was nice. You can probably hear from my panting that we've just started the ascent again. And we're going up on a very steep angle. In the previous town that we were in, Las Herrerias, they were advertising the next stage you could do on horseback. Cost was €60, so about $120 per person to do it on horseback. Clearly a number of people have taken that option recently, because as we work our way up these paths, you can see remnants that the horses have been along here. I'm no good going down the descent. I find that quite difficult. Hurts my feet, not great with my knees. I much prefer the ascent. So this climb, although puffing a little bit, I actually quite enjoy the climbs, particularly when it's a climb on a bush trail and not on the shoulder of a road. Sticks are very helpful. Just the outlook. We're overlooking farmland, so luscious green paddocks, bush, and at parts it feels a little bit like rainforest. Chan, how are you finding the climb up the mountain?
I'm finding it very fun and tiring. Makes you hungry as well.
Well, we did just stop for breakfast. Sherilyn, the climb? Enjoying the climb?
No.
Sherilyn's far better on the descents and the flat ground, where I prefer the ascents and anything that's off the side of the road.
It's very pretty in here. It is very beautiful, but I'm not enjoying the steepness of the incline. I've just been climbing this all morning, had a break, and there's more.
Yeah, well, that's going to be the day, I think, until we get to this alto. So I think what I read online was steep ascent for the first part of the day and then a gradual ascent over the rest of the day. So we'll lock in for this next section. So we're back at it after lunch. We stopped for lunch in O Cerebro. It's a decent climb to get to O Cerebro. As we arrived, there was someone playing an instrument, something similar to bagpipes, but it looked to be a local version of bagpipes. Just a small town at the crest, and it's at the border, at the beginning of the Galicia region. So we've crossed into Galicia. So impressive when we were on our way up to O Cerebro. Keep getting that name wrong. O Cerebro. Probably get most of the names wrong. The dairy fields were on such a steep incline. You'd almost need to be a goat cow, really, but somehow the farmers and the cows were working the land there. But we saw some cows perched up on a very steep slope. Goat cows, we've reclassified them. So we had a soup, a bowl of vegetable soup at O Cerebro. We keeping on for today. We've still probably got about another 11 kilometres to go. A few little altos to pass or to walk up on our way. It's going to be a big day. So we've made it here to Fonria, our stop for the night, and I feel that we're staying in some sort of grand designs project.
Yes, it's a very new looking place with very modern, or I should say contemporary architecture with polished concrete floors and concrete pillars. It's very beautiful.
Straight lines, high ceilings, concrete, a lot of white.
White and grey.
And some natural timbers as well.
Yeah, and
big glass windows, like floor to ceiling glass.
Beautiful.
And because of where Fonria, where it's located, is on top of an alto, you get these great views over the valleys, etc. There was that Ghost Rider, Ewan McGregor movie that we watched.
Yes.
And the house in that was different but similar. Like it had concrete, big glass windows, and it looked out onto the beach, and outside looked cold and wet and windy, but inside was lovely and warm. This place has a little bit of a similar feel, that you can imagine looking outside on a really wet, because it's very windy outside.
Yes, it is.
I imagine it's always windy, but you can imagine looking out on a really wet, windy day and then being inside, because it has heating through the floor. So, we've been staying in places, like last night in the old dairy. That was built in the 1880s. I think it was 100 years before I was born. But this building would have only been, the last couple of years?
Yeah, it's only a few years old, and it's nice to be in a place that gives you space. Like, it's quite tranquil. I think the lady showed us some other bedrooms, and they're all clean and neat as well. But the whole building has this sense of space. After being out on a track, you get to come in and just be in a space by yourself.
So as we said, it does feel like we are in a Grand Designs house, which is very flash. Let's talk a little bit about that track. So the first part of the day was that very steep climb to I'm going to say Cerebro, but I know it's wrong.
Cerebro.
Cerebro's out of X-Men, isn't it?
Yes.
O Sobrero. So that very steep climb to O Sobrero, which is where we stopped for lunch. We had a vegetable soup. We thought we had done the hard yards for the day.
Yes.
We knew that we were only half or even a bit less than half in terms of kilometres, but we'd done the climb up to that alto. So I think we thought we'd broken the back of the day. We hadn't.
No, and that's the thing, because when you read about it, it says it's steep, take your time, but it's beautiful. You'll get up to the mountain pass, which is O Sobrero, and then you follow the ridge line and you come down.
And we didn't really come down. It was almost like we were on the back of a camel, a multi-humped camel. We went up and we went down. We went up, we went down. We went up and we went down. And every time we went up very steeply. And when we came down very steeply. And when we got to the top, the further we got up, because we were sort of angling upwards, I suppose, it got very breezy.
It got very windy. Just what you were talking about with the normal hills, which were just steep up and down. And then we did 2 altos, which was crazy. The second alto, I think, is the second highest peak in the whole of the Camino. That's where our little dog friends followed us up.
Well, let's talk dogs, because what is the breed of these massive, do you know what they are?
Not off the top of my head. I know they're a mountain dog, and they're used to guard chickens and sheep and things like that.
And there was one that we had just gone up a hill. It was laying in the sun, and we must have stopped for a break, and it thought, I'm going over there for some scratches. And it came over and then just kept positioning itself closer and closer to us. Then it sat in front of us. Then it laid down. Then it was reached its big paw out and put its paw on us.
Yes.
It was just inviting us to scratch it more and more and more.
He was very sweet, and his paw was probably about the size of your hand.
And he had a friend.
Yes.
Which was the little German Shepherd type dog. We thought this dog was going to follow us all the way to Santiago.
Yes. He was very cute. He wasn't allowed scratches when the big mountain dog was getting scratches, because he chased him off. And then as we went up further to the second alto, this dog ran up to us.
Well, it ran into 2 mountain dogs who clearly had said, no, buddy, you're not passing this zone.
Yeah.
And chased him back down the hill.
Poor thing. Yeah. Against 2 mountain dogs, he had no chance. He's very smart, though. He went and put himself in the bushes where they couldn't get him.
The steepness of that alto.
Oh, I have no words, because you enjoy climbing. I don't. I'd much prefer to descend. And the steepness today, I think I was like bent over double to try and get up that last part of the alto. And that's on the back of climbing the mountain.
Now, just to wrap this up, the lady was so accommodating here at the accommodation.
Yes.
She realised that we didn't want the pilgrims' dinner, and so then she gave you, because you wanted fruit,
yes.
She gave you the bowl of fruit, and then Chan and I just wanted breakfast cereal, and she brought out the dispenser from breakfast, and we just had a big bowl of cereal for dinner. Chopped up some bananas, put that in, and had a cup of tea with it. So perfect dinner for us, because that's quite often a dinner we might have at home.
Yeah, she was lovely. Absolutely lovely.
All right, well, tomorrow is a very, very short day for us, which is nice. Not a rest day, but a short day of 11 or 12 kilometres, something like that. Just a city to surf.
Yeah.
And then the next day into Saria. It's about 20 kilometres, I think, into Saria, 18 to 20. Then a rest day in Saria, and then 6 days through to the end.
Yes, nearly there.
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the
Step by step through the sun and rain, WCBH is on the go. Join us as we walk the Camino.